Now that the stream has started, I got to make sure it's streaming. Look at that. Oh, let's go over here. Let's go over here. See if it's streaming or not. Hey, look, Jean Claude. Oh, that's an old movie. Yeah, I used to watch those movies. Let's see, video streams. Streams live. There it is right there. Now that that's taken care of, got to find a chat window. I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm looking for it. I don't see it. Using OBS. Does it view? I don't know. You think it'd be kind of in here. But I don't see it. If I were to make something like this program, I would put the chat window option box right there on the damn screen. Would be something you have to go look for. Why isn't it up? I don't know. It was up, but somehow in the process of setting up the stream, it kind of went where it wanted to go. Maybe I can pull it up from here. Let's see. Damn commercial. I told them that all my viewers watch games, that they don't watch all that stuff. All that crap. I thought they did custom commercials based on what I want people to see. People more likely to see a commercial on games than they are something they don't want. You know? That is how I see it. Now, it says this is the chat window. Alright, man, come on. There it is. But that's on my screen now. I don't want you all to see what's being typed because that takes up enough room. It takes up enough room as it is to have the stuff I'm doing. So I have to put this in another screen. So it's off the screen, out of the way. Alright, let's get on with it. If somebody shows up, you can tell me if you hear me talking. If not, then well, I just have to talk to myself all day again. Alright, look what we're doing here. We got a fan that we're working on. I got the housing thing put on it. And I just redid the texture for it. It wasn't looking like that. It was kind of flat. So I moved the... I did a couple different things with that. But the problem I'm having now is not the fan so much. It's the way it's operating. If you turn it, these things shouldn't turn, but they're turning anyway, and it's turning that. So you can break this off here. You can break these off, and then just spin the blade by itself. It's broken now too. But I want it to break. It makes it more fun for people. It ain't invincible. It can do some damage. It can spin too fast too and break itself. If anybody decides to make something like this and you want it to spawn already turning, you'll need to go into the JBeam file and change one thing. I'll show you here. It's kind of easy to do. It's not difficult. Maybe you got a mod over there that spawns that you got to press the gas to get it to go or whatnot. I think of that giant hammer mod that someone made a while back. And, you know, if you wanted to just spawn where it's already going, do something like this here. If I can find my damn shortcut. So if we go to the thruster section before the beams start, you'll see these values here. This is the most the spin can speed up to, and it's one of them is the most it can get up to, and the other is the rate, I think, that it gets up to that. I'm not sure which one's which. I just usually make them both the same. But it is spinning faster than what it needs to, so I'm going to lower it to like 8,000. But to make it spin by itself, you just need to put a minus. That automatically makes it turn. Actually, probably do 5,000. And if it ain't enough, increase it. They're like three, looks like 3 nodes. You know what? Oh, these are all the blade. BL for blade. I was thinking I might have had accidentally put the damn case, the cover on there too, but I didn't. No, it's just attached to the fan somehow. And it's the other thing's attached to that, so I figured that out. Now when you respawn it with Control R, it'll restart it, respawn it, and it'll already be spinning. Saves a lot of time because, you know, you'd have to normally press the gas pedal, get it spinning, and press tab while you're doing that so it maintain its spin, you know. This way you can just spawn it in and you gotta worry about all that. Bring another one in here. See, already going. There's a Walmart fan. Walmart special. $9.99. Keeps you cool all day long. Now there is an anchor, but the anchor is only for the axles. The fan can still break off of that. So if we go to the J-beam for this thing, you'll see how it's put together now. Now somewhere in here, somehow, that not only got off there, but it is not right. So if you ever need to like change something in here, and it's kind of hard to see, you can move everything, but you just have to remember what you put. Say like this is a casing, and you got casing A and casing B. So find out which one's X, which is the red, or Y, whichever way it's facing, and add a number or two to this thing to move it. So if you just put like, I don't know, a number 2 in front of, or number 1 in front of everything. Then you know you can just take one off and it'll make it go back the way it was. See what I'm doing? And now if I refresh, it's out of the way. I can see better about what's what. What's that hooked to? I gotta move the other one too. Maybe move this one the other direction. I'll put like minus 112. Or minus 1 rather. It doesn't mess it up either, it just moves it. You just gotta remember where it was at. Put it back. That's why I just use like one number. Alright. So the casing's out of the way. How's the casing attached to this thing? Okay, well, it isn't even attached to anything. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. This is attached to that new thing I added, and that's attached to the new thing I added. But that was just to make it so that it would not fall. It has to attach to something. Just attaching it to the axle ain't going to be enough. It needs something stronger than that. Probably the rest of the thing would be probably fine. What I could probably do is just remove all the ones that connected to that part and just worry about that part when the rest of it's done, because that's not gonna work like that. So like where the housing connects to the blade, I'll leave them, but not the ones where it connects to the casing. Casing CA and CB. So if it says HO, that's housing. CA is casing. So we just remove them all. All the ones that are connected. Wait a minute. Only these ones that's connected. Yeah, like the one, like I said, only ones connected to the blade. So if it's not connecting to the blade, it's got to go. I got some more there. All right. Down to the rest of the frame, the rest of the body of that thing, so it's got some to support it. So what's the next part? Let's load it in the blender. Where's blender? It ain't loaded. We'll load the model into there, and we'll find out what the next part is. I want each part to break, so it's more realistic. No, it's not it. Or is it? There we go. So the next part is the thing that's touching. All right. So that's the next thing, that piece. What would make that easier to manage is to just take the J-beam for the thing that's inside of it, that one, and duplicate it and make that also for the thing on the outside. By scaling it a little bigger, we can just connect corner to corner to corner to corner kind of thing. That'd be easier to connect that. But it needs to somewhat match the shape of that. You know what? The hell with that. The minute I do that, it's going to be hard to connect it. Just the other one's not that long. I'd have to subdivide it. I don't want to do all that. Alright, so the housing cover. The J-beam for that. I want to just duplicate it. I'm going to call this HC for housing cover. And set the origin back. Allow transforms. And So these are the DAEs that are going to be in there. Since we're adding another part, we got to add that too. So export this as DAE over the other one, selection only. And this part, this housing cover, needs to be added to the J-beam. That would be in the flex body. And make it HC. I said group HC. Now get nodes, the beams, triangles for the new part. Got to export the J-beam for the thing. Housing covered J-beam. And go to where the game, to where you saved your Blender file. And then there will be the exported J-beam. So this is the housing cover. I'll move that to here. And then put the nodes over there. And then the beams and the triangles. And let's load it and see what we get. No material. Oh, I forgot about that. It's got its own texture. Dummy. Dummy. Dummy, dummy. It's got its own. I forgot about the texture. It uses two of them. SO5, SO6. But I can just bake it on the one, not have to worry about two of them. Yeah, I can do that. So I'll duplicate it, and then the duplicate I'll rename to bake. Baked cover. And I got to go to edit mode and tell it to smart UV project, or I need to cut it so that it can unwrap, but it'd be easier to just smart UV project. Give it like a 0.1, 0.01, 0.1 island margin, unwrap. Then the UVs, you'll see each thing has its own. Damn, that's terrible. I wonder why it did like that. I mean, all these little dots out in the middle of nowhere. Like all one little small fragment. Must be all that stuff in there. Or I shouldn't have unwrapped the thing like that. But it's done now. We gotta go in the Cycles render engine. See where we're in. We need a light in the scene, or we can self-illuminate it. We'll use a light in the scene. We'll just go and put a HDR light in it. It'll light it up uniquely, like the real sun, or wherever inside, wherever you're. This is the one I've been using for the others. Go into that render mode and see how the light's affecting that. Now the J-beam don't get nothing. So we got the housing. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the cover. The housing cover and its duplicate. So that's the duplicate there. Now we need to take away the textures from it and make a new one. spell, man. It don't look right with an E on there. Housing cover baked. It gets a base texture, and we'll just do, let's probably do 2K. Or I'll do 4K, I guess. New. No, not open. New. 4096 by 4096. It doesn't need an alpha channel. Now what we got to do is in our shader here, we need to pick the old one, the one that's got the texture on it. Not that one, but that one. We need to go down to here and tell it to show us it as a bounding box. Now we can bring this one back. We can select that one, hold shift, pick that one, make sure that's selected, the one we just made that 4096 one to. Go to bake, which is in here. Tell it to bake the diffuse, or you can tell it to bake combined if you want the indirect and direct lighting. Be sure to have selected the active on. If you don't, it's not going to do right, because you're baking from one thing to the other. And then bake, and you should on the left get your preview. It should show this one, all those two textures baked onto that one image. It should actually update right away once it's done with the new one. Yeah, see, that's what we wanted. Now it's just one material instead of two. And in the beam, you can always affect the roughness, metallicness. You can always do that stuff inside of Beam. Don't do it in here. You're wasting your time if you do it in here. The only thing Beam's going to see is that base color. The other stuff it may see, but it don't do nothing with it. Or, well, it actually will adjust the alpha too. If you bring it over with the alpha adjusted, it will apply that lerp alpha to it. But other than that, all that other stuff, as far as I know, the game don't see any of that. You can still make all of them, but you just have to apply them in the game texture editor. So now that we got the cover baked, we can get rid of the old cover, housing cover. And I'll rename this to housing cover. Now what's the texture name for that? Texture name. Housing cover baked. Alright, that's got to be added to the material file. So here's a material file that's in the mod folder with that mod. So we'll just take one of these, like this one, duplicate it. After the bracket and comma, we'll paste it. And then we'll put another bracket and a comma to end it. That's the wrong place, man. Not there. Wait a minute. I done screwed up. Ah, shit. Forget about that shit. I don't want to be named that. And see, it still doesn't update it. It still puts that in there. Didn't even load it, don't look like. No, because it's known as Untitled 01. And it won't bring the other one in because it thinks, well, you're using that. I try to clean up, purge, and use data. It's still showing up in there. No, it doesn't look like it's in there. Yeah, well, that's not the one. That's for actually for the inside of that thing. So we should be able to now open it. It's showing there correctly. So that shit ain't right. It ain't gonna show you a texture in Beam either. So now it's in there correctly. Now when I export the housing, the cover, and all that shit again, it'll should be right. So we got that, and the case, the outside case, casing, case shield, whatever it's called. So all this now gets sent over again. I forgot about the textures. Yeah, it's got to have it. God damn it. There's little things like that'll mess you up. It'll mess you up, man, because you think you spelled it one way and you didn't. And you wonder why it ain't working. Housing cover bait. God damn it. One minute. Be right back. All right. You failed the test. The one comment I got to this test, I said, you failed. You failed miserably. All right. We got our cover in here. That's awfully shiny, ain't it? Well, I guess metallic does transfer too. I was screwing around with that in there too. But not a map. But a map it's not going to take it. Oh, I forgot I moved those things over, didn't I? Well, that's fine. They're going to be wrong for a minute. I got to get the other things situated. Or that ain't going to matter. See, that's what I wanted. I wanted one to break and reveal the other underneath. Kind of like an egg breaking on the outside. Alright. Let's get the next piece on. That's under that. So that would be, there's a housing connect. And there's the arm, or shaft, whatever I called it. I probably just joined these two together. So that connects to that now, but we've got to plan it. We've got it connected by J-beam, so we got to make it so that the J-beam will connect to the other thing's J-beam. So this is the J-beam for that cover. So the other thing is going to connect. We need to make it so that it connects and it's a good connection. Not like having something like right down here and say, oh, that's for the other thing. No, it's got to all kind of go together. If it don't, it's not going to do right. I'm going to change the name of that to arm. That's more like an arm. Let's see. I can kind of take the general outline of this thing and make a J-beam based off of it. But I need to make it so that it connects to that one. And that's not... Why the hell I did it like that, I don't know. It should be rotated the other way. It should have been, flat there. Not like that. Well, it is. I did it myself. I imported one from a set of Corza. The terrain's actually the whole damn map's gonna be a big ass mesh. Even like all the trees, all that shit was separated into different parts. Then you'd be better off to remake your own trees, though. Them things don't look good. That's an old game. They look a lot better in Beam than they do in there. You'd be better to redo the forest in the set of Corsa map with the forest tool, since you can apply a forest item onto a mesh. If you want to make a terrain block out of it, that's going to be tricky. You have to get a height map from it. Then you have to render the texture from a top view, and it's a big ass map. You'd have to render like a 16K texture for it to look good. You'd be better off just to redo the textures with the terrain painter if you're going to go that route. Do PBR materials. Yeah, I messed with it a little bit. I got one or two of them converted over partially, and I got bored with it pretty quickly. I have a set of Corsa, but I didn't play it much. I wasn't really crazy about the maps either. I think the Highlands one, the downloadable map that I purchased for it, that was the one I did for the video, I think. I thought I posted a video on it. So I got a choice. I got to remake this damn thing, or I got to rotate it around and figure out a way to hook it. Why don't I do this? I'm gonna lie a little bit, just a little lie, by saying this is part of the new J-beam. The edges here from this one, I'll duplicate them, move them down just a bit, make them a separate object, and then remove the excess line I got there. I didn't mean to grab that one. And then the ones that I just did, those copies too, I'll duplicate them, move them to the bottom of the arm. Like so. Then I'll connect them with a polygon. And that might work. That way he's got 4 points to connect to. Or I can do it like this, where it's more accurate. And then connect them that way. That might work too. That'll work, I believe. Wait a minute. Damn. What happened to the other side? I don't know how I damn messed it up, but I ended up taking off part of it somehow. But that'll work. Oh, I see. That should do fine. And I can give it some more support by connecting these inside, like connect that one to that one. And gives it more support. And then probably these too. The only trees I messed with are the ones that come with the map. I didn't mess with any tool or anything. I just know that the ones that are in the map, they made their way over too. I might have did it different. I used a different program maybe than what you did. I just used the thing that other people were using to convert the track to a DAE, I believe. And it came with all that stuff when I imported it in. I didn't use any extra tools to make trees that were not already in there. So I don't know how it does those. I don't know what format they're in, the trees. They're just, uh, I mean, I assume they're DAEs and a set of chords also. It's not like they're made it. It's not like it's making a shader that's, specific to that game. The problem I had was the normals being flipped the wrong way. And damn, having to flip a lot of normals. That's a pretty secure arm there. Now that'll be the arm J-beam. Let me look at it real quick, see if I can pull something back. It looks like it makes just an atlas. Atlas is just a two-dimensional. It's a two-dimensional image that you basically have to make. Yeah, you basically have to make the tree with polygons, simple polygons, like this, like they are in the game now. Very simple, and set the alpha clipped so that it removes the transparent background. Well, it's just to me looks like it makes the same trees that's already in the game. It's not doing something special. And that's like I said, I wouldn't even use those damn trees. I'd get some better ones. But if you try to keep it simple, that is simple. I'm not good at making trees. I tried to make them. Mine doesn't look good. I get the back side of them things get really dark, since they're single faces. It didn't look right. Now it looks right in here. The trees do, but when I make a two-dimensional one, it didn't look good. God damn it, got more textures. KN5, I think that's the one I used. If you're trying to add them with the world editor, you just pick the forest tool. The forest tool in the world editor, paint forest. Grass is a little more complicated. That uses ground covers. What I would recommend using is like a small island as your base. That's got good forest and grass that you can use on your map. I don't know what map you started with when you started making the thing. I'm not sure on that. What I am sure about is my arm didn't bake right. Uh, there we go. Template map sucks. They ain't got but damn one bush in the whole damn thing. One bush and maybe one ground cover. Yeah, I don't use that one, man. I don't use that one at all. And it's not even PBR. It's old non-PBR. I got maps I use that on too, and I ended up always using small island instead. I mean, you can add all that stuff, but then you gotta know how to make forest tools, forest trees, and that's not something easy to teach you. It's not something that you can kind of just watch one time and figure out how to do it. Or maybe you can, but I don't prefer to. I don't like to make them. If I don't have to make a forest item, I don't. And I have for this new track, I had to make new assets that blow in the wind. I had to make them forest items. But like to make a tree that, yeah, I mean, it might not be. Depends on how realistic you want it to be. If you just want to look like a set of chords, then no, it wouldn't be a problem. You know, if you wanted them to blow in the wind, then you'd have to subdivide them a lot, and then you'd have to apply a vertex paint to it. But if you just want still, or if you just want static objects, I don't know. I'd have to look and see. Let me see what atlases they got in Fab. I don't think they got anything for trees. It's all like bushes and grass. It's a process for sure. It ain't something that's just easy to do. I'm not seeing what I'm looking for. Oh, here's some atlases here. Not sure where they got those stored. Here, let me pick one. Now you'd have to make something out of that. But there's no trees in here that are not for Unreal Engine anyway. Just grass and stuff. We got some parts of a tree, but not a whole tree. Mostly flowers, grass, and bushes. Trees on speed, huh? Learning edition. That must be the free one. Yeah, $0. And unless you make more than $1 million a year, you don't have to pay for it. Which that's fine. I don't make that. Maybe 0.001% of that a year. Oh, hell. You got me interested now. It's free. You can't beat free. Version 10. Exporting is not available in the Learning Edition. Well, there you go. You can't use that one. You can't export shit with the free one. Yep. You ain't gonna get nothing exported out of that. Now, unless you look at it in the 3D view, you can always rip it using reality capture. Yeah, you could do that. Might be a little unlawful though. Let's see. Indie be $19 a month. They look pretty good. They look pretty good. They look real good. Better than what I can make. But I ain't got $19 a month. I pay enough stuff. Enough for enough things now. All these little things add up too. Creation to tree it. Very easy to create 3D trees and models. Create any tree, not limited to just one tree type. Adjustable levels of detail. Exports, no. It means you got to export it as a OBJ. Bring that into Blender. Exports if a DAE. I don't use Autodesk. Tree installer. Tree Steam page. That's $4. It's not free. But they look pretty good. I think the other one looked better. Well, maybe. They're about the same. And they're like game ready too, so like low polygon. Well, there you go. That's what you need then. That's what you need. But you might be limited to what it comes with. You can't just make. Well, I guess you can if you got a generator. Yeah, that might be all right. Tree it. See if it'll let me load it. Like a trial. I'll get back to this damn fan, man. This fan's like the boringest project in the world. If anybody's watching it, speak now or forever hold your peace. I'm gonna probably quit working on this for a minute. Save my Blender file. I'll save my Blender file. Save my materials. They're in the game now. I always forget to do that. Alright. Grass is different. You got 3D grass, you got two-dimensional grass. You got the grass you can make in the game that just was just a ground cover grass. Then you got the you can make grass as a forest item, but the easiest way would be just to take a picture of grass and make a texture from it and make that a new ground cover. You got ground covers that they link to whatever the terrain paint is. Terrain painter, it's like this sand here. Ground model name, or I'm sorry, the name of it is sand. So if you wanted to add a ground cover to show up with sand, you'd have to go to create object ground cover, press that, and then hit escape. And then this is where you edit in the inspector window, you tell it what material it's going to be. Now, there's a bug in this thing. It's been here for 3 years that until you reload it, you're not going to see the correct texture. But you got to make a texture for whatever it is you're going to make. So I'll get some grass here from if you're making it for the ground cover system, you won't need to go into Blender. You need a photo editor. If you want to use it as in Blender, I wouldn't really know what you're going to do with it in Blender. But you can import it in a Blender. It's just a two-dimensional plane. Two-dimension. I need to make some wheat. I've been wanting to make some and I ain't got around to it. And of course, I want free. Alright, these are saved. These are... Now you got two different kinds. You got where you can build your own, and you got the kind that's already, kind of just already there. That's the one we'll get. We'll get the 4K. Then we'll open that up. Is it commonly? Ah, shit, man. I'll have to come back to that. I don't want to open it. So all these will be your texture for your ground model, ground cover. You move them into your level. Assuming you're working on your level in the right place, you got your level in the user folder. You go to your user folder and find your level that you're working on. Like, say this cliff map. Just make a new folder for your stuff. You can put it in the art folder. You don't got to. Just make a new folder here, or put it in the art folder. It's up to you. But make a new folder. I spelled it wrong. Don't matter what you name it, and no matter what you just paste them in there like that. And then these are what you build the texture from. So in the game, you got to make the texture first. So you go to your material editor, and you got to say new material. And then over here, you get a little window pop up, and you name it whatever you're going to name it. And you say create. Now you got a blank texture. This is where you'll fill in the rest of the stuff. You can drag and drop. I forgot about that. Just load the asset browser. And go to the directory and just drag and drop. You can't do it with terrain paints, unfortunately. They like to work extra to do that, I guess. So the base color, you go to the color map. And then you got the normal mapping. And you got specular mapping if you're not doing PBR. And translucency, gloss, bump map. Bump map, we don't support bump mapping. Then you have to enable the alpha clip so that it removes what's supposed to be invisible. I probably need we don't have to use an opacity map. But might as well make it PBR. And then we'll put a roughness in the roughness, ambient occlusion, and if there's an ambient occlusion, don't see one. And the opacity map goes to the opacity. Now you see, we got us some ground cover of wheat. And that becomes the forest thing. Then you save it. Then you go back to your ground cover and you pick that material that you just saved. And this is where it doesn't update. You just save it and reload it. And this is just a bug in a game. Then you got to assign it. You got to assign the wheat to a ground. I say we're gonna put it in the sand here. You got to pick the sand, or pick the ground cover. I mean, in here. Where's it at? I don't see it. So go to types, and in types is where you put the layer that it's going to make. It's going to go on. In this case, it's going to go on sand. It looks like lowercase s. You can have multiple types per ground cover too. Probability 1, how many elements? Let's just say 100,000. Now we don't see nothing. That's where that bug comes in. Should be able to just save and reload it. It should be there when we come back. But it's not. I don't know what the hell's going on. We're not seeing the, we're not even seeing a no texture in there, which usually you get. Oh, let's reload it and see. Nah, it didn't make anything. Might be the map. Oh, there's the ground cover. Well, that's how you do it. I don't know why it ain't working in here though. I couldn't tell you. Oh, that's because sand isn't painted on here. It's beach sand, not just sand, but beach sand. Okay, there's our wheat. Oh, it's the wrong name. I just assumed it was sand. And then you got some grass. And you can have it do different things. You can have it make different sizes. Some can be bigger than others. Some be smaller than others. So it's kind of random. And the amount, how many you want. Now, the farther away it draws it, the closer you tell it to draw it, the more dense it'll be. Because it ain't got so far to go. But if you want it to be dense like that from very far away, like say 200 meters away, then you got to increase the count to like 1,000,000. And that's how that's done. I wouldn't go that far with it. I'd do a lot less than that. Then you can add many things. You got all different ones you can do. You can rewind this and watch this. You can rewind this video. I made videos on ground cover, so that's just the grass, the basic grass. I think when I got out of here, it erased it. When I took it out, it removed all the stuff that was in here for my set of chords. So I made a lot of tutorials. I don't even remember half the stuff I made. I made so many things I don't even know what I made. I see stuff sometimes pop up that I'm like, oh, somebody made a tutorial on that, and realize it's mine. But I don't remember everything. I can't remember all that stuff. It's too much. I made too much stuff. Yeah, I ran into a little problem with that because I had picked the wrong ground cover. That's how I assumed it was sand, and that's why we wasn't seeing the texture pop up when I reloaded it. But I picked the wrong one. You got to pick the right one to paint it if you want it to paint on. If you limit it though with the ground cover to only showing up on the terrain block, so if you're making a set of chords and there are DAEs, you'll need to bring the ground cover, or you'll need to bring the terrain up to the mesh so that it's right below it, and then you'll see the grass come through that's on the actual terrain block. You can also redo the entire thing. That this is I don't know. Seems like a lot of work. Be easier just. Well, I don't know. Say what's easier. I got kind of frustrated with it with the trees. There's a lot of textures. I remember there's a lot of texture names, and then finding out which one was which one. That was what took me a while. And I didn't even do them all. I just couldn't do them all. I didn't have time. But I was impressed with how the track turned out, where the normals were not flipped. I also had a problem with it being extra polygons for some reason. Like there are polygons there that shouldn't be there. And they're messing up parts of the track. I probably got the one I shared already. I think I shared it. I was pretty sure I did. I say if anybody wants to mess with it. Oh, actually, I didn't. Yeah, it is KN5 converter. That's what I used. God damn it. And there's the cliff map from the game in Blender. That's only 8 million polys.